Now we're live. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Today we are creating this little DIY notebook that has space. Oh, sorry, Amber. I left you on the screen. I left my little helper there on the screen. We are making this DIY notebook that has space for a gift card holder. And the nice thing about this is that it's very quick to make, and it uses items that you probably already have on hand, such as copier paper and scrapbook paper and ribbon and thread. So I would be very surprised if you didn't have those in your stash. So my name's Ali Manning. My channel is Vintage Page Designs, and here we talk about all things handmade journals. If you are joining us live, welcome, welcome. Let me see who is here. Hi, Celeste. Hi, Janine. Hi, Joanna and Suzanne and Anne, two Celestes. It's great to see you, and a big thank you to Amber, who you saw at the beginning, who is helping behind the scenes make sure that all your questions get answered. So please feel free to put any questions that you have in the chat, and at the end of the video, I will make sure that they are all answered with the help of Amber. I'm going to flip my camera down, and we're going to get started. I want to know in the comments who has finished their holiday shopping, because I certainly have not. That's for sure. Although I'm kind of almost there. Almost there, almost there. Okay. As I mentioned, we're going to be using a lot of things that I know you have in your stash. Here is the little book. We have coffee and water. Very important. So here's the little notebook. It's got 4 holes on the spine. It's got a little pocket right here. It's also got a little pocket right here. So you could put multiple gift cards. You could put cash. You could put a gift card here, and you could put a little note right here. And then there are 24 pages, I believe. 1, 2, 3. Let me just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 24 pages in this little book, or 48 sides. So it's really fun to just pop in a bag or a, like a backpack if it's for like a student or a child. So let's jump in. You really don't need a whole ton of stuff. What you will need is copier paper. You're going to need 6 sheets of copier paper. So what I want you to imagine is your copier paper, 8.5 by 11, or it can be A4, no problem. You're going to get 6 of these. I'm just going to cut them all in half. So in old money, 6 times 2 is 12. So it's just copier paper. You've got it like this with the short side towards you, and you're just going to cut it straight down the middle. Now, if you don't want to cut it, you could always fold and tear it. So 6 sheets of copier paper are going to make 12 of these half sheets. We're going to take those 12 half sheets. We're going to stack them up together. We're just going to fold them in half. Just make sure they're as sort of neatly stacked as possible. And fold in half all together, bringing those edges together, making sure it's flat along the top. And we'll press with our fingers, and then you can either press with a bone folder, or you could press with that gift card you have to hand. So just press this down. So here are the 24 pages that you are going to need for the inside of the gift card holder. If you don't want to use copier paper, by all means use other paper that you have on hand. If you have drawing paper or sketch paper that you want to use up, or some other thinner papers, by all means. But I'm just using the copier so that so it's most accessible to people. Let's just set that to one side for now. We could just pop it under a brick just to kind of squish it down for a little bit. Put that to one side, and we're going to make the cover. So to make the cover, you're going to need a piece of paper which is 9 inches square. So if you have a piece of scrapbook paper, then you can, that's 12 by 12, you can cut it down to 9 inches square. You could also cut down a piece of handmade paper, which this is. It's got a little sparkle. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let's bring this over so you can see the sparkle. You could use a 90-pound or heavier watercolor paper. You could use a mixed media paper. If you've done some jelly printing on mixed media paper, that would be perfect. It doesn't have to be something that you purchase. It can be something that you've created yourself. But you just want to make sure that this cover is a little bit thicker than the copier paper or the whatever you're using for your inside pages. This happens to be handmade paper from the December paper pack that we have, and I've popped a link below. But I really do encourage you just to find what you have in your stash, my friends. We're going to fold this in half. Now, because it's a square, I could fold it this way or I could fold it this way. It doesn't really matter. But what I want you to do is just hold it in your hands like this, and whichever way it bends more easily, which for me is this way, I want you to fold it that way. If you, this way, I feel a bit of resistance, and then this way feels easier. I'm just going to fold it in half. And just press down in the middle and push out towards the edge. Just like that. Here we have our cover. Let me just see what I actually want on the cover. I might actually do it that way around. I want more of these leaves and flags and sparkle on the front cover. Next up, we're going to get that signature. Now, if you want to grab a paper clip or a quilting clip or a binder clip, just something to hold this signature in place. You're going to place it in the center of the folds. Just nest the two pieces together. You're going to push it up almost to the top, but you're going to leave a tiny gap there, about 1/8 of an inch gap. And I'm just going to hold it in place with a couple of these. These are quilting clips. I like these. But you could also use, you know, these tiny little clips like this, or, you know, paper clips. Whatever you have. You're just going to want to hold that in place and leave a little gap at the top. And then we've got a big section at the bottom. So next we're going to sew this together. And then once we've sewn it, we're going to create the pocket. So I'm just checking that I get the sewing right. Yeah. Just want to grab a needle. I happen to be using wax linen thread, but you certainly don't have to. You could use embroidery floss if that's what you have. If you've got pearl cotton on hand, by all means use that. Don't use a thin cotton like, you know, that you would use in a sewing machine. Go with something sort of thicker. And if you so you've got embroidery floss and you happen to have some beeswax, you could just run it through the beeswax to make sure that those embroidery floss strands don't keep pulling apart. So it's going to need about 18 inches of thread to sew this. Let's find my scissors. Oh, apparently I can't find them. And then just grab like an embroidery needle, whatever will take the thread that you're using. First, we have to mark the holes. So just put a pencil here so you can see them. There it is. We're going to do 4 holes. And the reason we're going to do 4 holes is so that we can thread our ribbon through the spine. If we did 3 holes, there'd be 1 slap bang in the middle and our ribbon wouldn't go through. So we're going to do 4 holes. And honestly, I'm not going to measure. So there's not a ruler in sight. I'm just going to kind of eyeball 1/2 inch from the top and bottom. So let me do that in a pen for you so you can see it a bit more clearly. Oops. Roughly there, and then 2 more. Let's just space them kind of evenly apart like that. Not too tricky. And then you're going to want to punch a hole. If you don't have an awl, you could use the needle that you're working with, which would be just great. And if you don't have some kind of punching cradle, which is also perfectly fine, you can just use a piece of cardboard like that. And just push it through. Just make sure that you kind of hold it between your fingers like that, and then push through onto the cardboard. And that way you won't damage your table. On our blog, we have a tutorial on how to make one of these out like chipboard. If you're interested, just go to vintagepagedesigns.com and click on the blog, and you'll find it right there. And you can search for DIY punching cradle. It's punching those holes, and I'm going through the pages, and I'm going through the cover as well. And I'm going to leave those clips in place. Get that needle and thread. Now let's look at these holes. If I'm working from the top, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm going to start at hole number 2 and starting on the inside, and there's no knot on the end of my thread. And I'm going to leave maybe 2 to 3 inches just dangling. Okay. We bring this up to hole number 1. And remember, this is being recorded if you're watching it live, and you can always come back and double check. I'm going to go down to hole number 3. Oh, no, I beg your pardon. We're going to go down to hole number 2. What you want to do is make sure you don't split that thread that's already there. If you find you keep putting your needle through the thread that is already there, what you want to do is make this sewing hole bigger. So you're going to want to go in with your needle or your awl and just, twist it around a couple times so it is a little bit bigger. So why don't I just run through that one more time. Start in hole number 2. Now to the front, go to hole number 1. Back to hole 2. Down to hole 3. And on the inside, go to hole 4. And on the outside, back to hole 3. And now we're going to tie off. Because I was yik-yakking, I'm going to do that for you one more time, because I have a feeling that someone's going to ask me to redo that. So let me do that one more time. So let's just say you get it wrong or something. You can always just unpick that. So let's do it one more time. Nice and slow. Oops, there we go. Okay. Here's my top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Start inside at number 2. Leave a 3-inch tail. Come up to hole 1. Come back to hole 2. Down to hole 3. Down to hole 4. Up to hole 3. And we're going to tie off. And I had more. I took 18 inches of thread and I had more than enough. I probably could have got away with 12 inches. And I'm just going to tie a square knot. So I'm going to go left over right, tuck it under. And I'm going to tie the knot over this hole number 2. And then I'm going to do the opposite, left over right, tuck it under. Pull nice and tight, and then let's clip off these extra threads. I'm going to push them down with my bone folder or just with my thumb. You can lose these clips. Oopsie. Fold and press along here. it might spring open a little bit, and that's fine. We can always put it under some weights for a couple of hours to stop it springing. And we're also putting a ribbon on here to close it, so that should be fine. So next up, I want you to think about how big you want your pocket to be. So I'm going to fold this upwards to create a pocket, but this is actually going to be a little bit big for my gift card, and it'll sort of disappear. So I'm actually going to take 1 inch off the bottom, but you may have something larger. Your gift card might be in one of the sort of in packaging, you know how they come like on a piece of cardboard or something, or you might have some tags or just something else that you want to put in here. So you may want to leave your pocket this size and make it deeper. So it's currently about 3.5 inches, a little bit less. So I'm just going to take off 1 inch from that edge. Let's see. And honestly, I'm just going to eyeball 1 inch. I'm just using this square to make sure that the cut I make is straight. Hang on to that for something. And then what we're going to do is cut out, so can you see the fold line right here? We're going to cut out a triangle. So very narrow triangle like this. You certainly don't have to put it in pencil. Just doing that to show you. But I'm going to cut that out. Should get rid of that extra little piece there. There you go. And then what I want you to do is put your notebook on the right and have your pocket on the left. And I want you to place a ruler, perhaps 1/8 of an inch, just beyond the bottom of your pages. And I want you to score. So I'm going to go in. My paper's quite thick, so I'm actually going to score with the tip of this awl, but you could use your bone folder. You could use a stylus. So my score line is about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. Fold it up like that. You can see these triangles here. If we hadn't taken away that little triangle, this would kind of keep hitting the pages right there. So there we have our little pockets. Let's just check. Yep, that fits nicely. If it didn't, I could always take more off. You have a choice now. You could glue these closed with double stick tape, but I like to use white glue just because it's what I have on hand, and double stick tape can get kind of pricey, especially if you're making a lot of these. So entirely up to you if you use double stick tape or glue. And you could leave this piece open right here if you want to, or you can glue down both sides. I think I'll glue down both sides. And I'm using tacky glue. You could use PVA. You could use Fabri-Tac, just anything that you have on. Ooh, you know, it's coming out, that you have on hand. Just doing a thin line of glue on these edges right here. And closing that shut. Try not to get too much glue seeping out if you can help it. Let's do the other side. You might want to put a piece of wax paper in here so that this first page doesn't stick to there. Oops, that's a bit close to the edge. Let's just kind of take a bit of that away with my finger. Yeah. Try to get this edge lined up if you can. If it overhangs just very slightly, you can always go in and trim it up afterwards. Put this down. I'm just going to put that under a brick for just a couple minutes to set up. And as I don't have wax paper here, let's pray that my first pages don't stick to it. And let's just think about what we want to do for the, if you want to put anything on the front. So I just noticed that I've got these cute little postage stamps by my desk. I didn't even know that these were here. They're kind of cute, aren't they? There's certainly lots of things that you could put on the front. If you want to put anything on the front, you could print something off the computer. You could use some rubber stamps. That's what I used here. This is a set of Stampin' Up! Rubber stamps from 50,000 years ago. Just anything that you want can go on the cover. Let me just kind of construct something. Let's see, our cover is going to be this white paper. So let's just push that a little bit further out the way. How this would look. Maybe I'll do a little bit of it's kind of cute. Maybe we'll do a little bit of vintage paper. Who knows? I don't know. They're quite sweet, aren't they? Maybe I'll do tear a piece of this. These on here. Yeah, perhaps I'll do that. Then I'll go find some vintage paper in my stash. And really, this has cost me nothing. It's all just, stuff that I already have hanging around. Just pop those on there. Take this off. Do you like a torn edge? But by all means, use your scissors if you want to. Just to create something on the front. Let me know in the chat how you would decorate the front of your book. Hang tight while I grab some vintage paper. I always have lots on hand. Let's see. Maybe we'll use this old book paper. Oh, I kind of like that. That looks kind of nice against the white. So let's pop that on here, and then we will finish up with the ribbon. I'm still using my tacky glue. That right there, this is an old encyclopedia. This might be a bit too big actually, but there we go. Yeah, let me know if you're a fan of rubber stamps. Let me know if you like to print things off your computer. Maybe you like to do hand lettering. I'd love to know how you would decorate the front of your book. Okay, let's get rid of all of this. I'm to choose a piece of ribbon. I've got my green out today, my green stash. Let's see. I'm not sure this is quite dry, but so just bear with me. I've got this green thread here, and this is going on the cover. What color shall we use? We could use this lovely, ooh, that's a nice green. I quite like that. And the width of this, I know you're going to ask me, is 3/8 of an inch, but you can use up to an inch. I think will be perfectly fine. There's this one right here. Ooh, choices. I think I'll go with this one. I could do a red to pick up this, but I think I'll stick with the green. And I'm going to cut about 18 inches of the ribbon. Oops. I'm going to make little triangles at the end, because that's going to make it easier for me to slide it through here. So what we're going to do is we're going to slide it through underneath the pages in between holes 2 and 3. Let's pull that through there. We're going to tack it in place with glue, or you could use double stick tape, whichever works for you. Let's make sure that they're even both sides. Let's put it through so we've got an even amount. And then I'm going to go in with my glue again, or I could use double stick tape. I might just mark it with a pencil so I know where to put that glue. Just about here. Going through this glue. Good, just lay that flat. And let's do the same on the other side. Do want to make sure that this is straight. We don't want it like wonky. Although it's a handmade gift, so if it was, I think it would be okay. Also, let me know in the comments if you made last week's book or you plan to. We did another handmade holiday gift last Thursday. And if you didn't watch it, it is on the channel. There we go. I'm not going to tie it yet because that is still wet. This is wet. This is wet. Let's pop this on the front. Oh, that looks kind of cute. I like that. Again, whatever white glue you have is perfectly fine. Or double stick tape. So I could really see mass producing these, and I'm going to put in the upper third, so it's just kind of the bottom of it is in line with the ribbon, but you could put it in the center. This would be great to make in bulk for like holiday fairs or something, because they're very quick and easy. Okay, I'm not going to tie that because, like I say, it's wet. I'm going to pop it under a brick and just allow it to dry for a short while. And when the video's over, I'm just going to put wax paper in here because I don't want this to stick to here. In this little book here, because I had the rubber stamps. Oh, I've got glue on there. Because I had these rubber stamps on my desk, I went in and got these little snowflakes and just did some snowflakes on each of the pages. So I don't know if you can see that, but just in the corner, just got glue on this book. Hopefully it'll dry. So yes, you can go in and do a little decoration on the pages if you want to, or just leave them blank for the recipient. Okay, my friends, before I take your questions, I just want to make sure that I know most of you here are not new to the channel, and you probably have already made what we call a brown bag book. But this is a one-sheet book that we make with brown paper, like a brown paper bag. And here's one that's actually got handmade paper instead of brown paper. But it's one sheet of paper, and it makes this really fun accordion book. So if you haven't signed up to take this free class, I've included a link below. It's free and it's really fun. And again, this will be an additional sort of handmade gift that you could make this year. All right, I'm going to switch. Well, I'm just going to have Amber put on the screen any questions you have. And in case I need to demo anything. What do you reckon, Amber? Ooh, Dorothy, what a great question. Could you use vellum for the cover page? Yes, as long as that vellum is sturdy enough, absolutely. I think that would be great. I think you could, sticking things to vellum can be tricky, so I would probably maybe use my sewing machine or sew things to the cover, you know, to attach things to the vellum. But you may have an adhesive that works really well with vellum. I just, I never have much luck with adhesives and vellum. So, but go for it. What other questions? That's it? No way. No way. Okay. I love that there are no questions. I mean, are there pockets in the book? No. Oh, yes. Great question. Cool cakes. That's a great name, Amelia. No, there's just pockets right here and a pocket right here in the covers, but there's no pockets inside. It's just, oh, sorry, pockets at the back, pockets at the front, and then the notebook pages are plain. These, yeah, there's no pockets on the inside pages. I mean, you certainly could add some if you wanted to, but it'd just take you a little bit longer. Any other questions or comments? Enjoyed the video. Oh, thank you, Kathy. I appreciate it. It was fun. Let me switch my video around. Here we go. And if you there we go. If you like this video and you would like to see more of them, please just give us a thumbs up, because then that way I can know to make more of them. And if you haven't subscribed, I would really appreciate you subscribing. I'd love to get to 21,000 subscribers this week. So hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And then it'll sort of appear more often in your feed, and you'll know when we're making videos. But talking of videos, I will be back here live next Thursday for another DIY gift. And in the meantime, if you make any of these projects, please let us know. Please tag us on Instagram, even just shoot us an email, help@vintagepagedesigns.com, and share any of the things that you've made. All right, my friends. Are we all set, Amber? All right, excellent. And big thanks to Amber for helping me out with the comments and questions. And thanks to those of you who are here live. I really appreciate it. Take care, folks.